Welcome back for the final part of this 4-part opener to Transformers Cyberverse Season 3. It's the Battle for Cybertron Part 4. We ended the last episode with Drift being revealed to be a double agent, who seemingly mortally wounded Hot Rod and both sunk into the Energon waste. Bumblebee, upset about the loss of his friend, was unwittingly snatched by someone, and Windblade, Teletran X, and Wheeljack were looking for a way to destroy Vector Sigma when Bludgeon reared his skull face again. We continue with this episode as Cheetor searches for the lost Bumblebee. He finds him being spit roasted by a group of tiny adorable repugnaces. Turns out these poor little things are starved for Energon, but Cheetor uses the Allspark to restore them. And as thanks, the little guys lead Cheetor to the well.
Let us go. Can somebody untie me? Never mind.
Back up top, Windblade and Bludgeon fight as Wheeljack sprays this goop on Vector Sigma. Turns out this stuff is unspace. Windblade Spartan kicks Bludgeon into the goo too, and both he and Vector Sigma are left adrift in unspace forever. Back inside Cybertron, Bumblebee and Cheetor find the place where the Allspark is supposed to go, and is apparently the place where all Cybertronian life is born. But Shockwave is there waiting for them. They fight for a bit, but finally defeat him, and return the Allspark to where it belongs, which revitalizes Cybertron. Outside, Optimus tells Megatron that it's pointless to continue fighting, as he casually tosses his Decepticons aside like nothing. But Megatron radios Shockwave to destroy the Allspark. Shockwave straps on what I initially thought was a suicide bomb, but it turns out I was half right because it's actually a spark extractor. Shockwave extracts his own spark and fires it into the Allspark, which apparently corrupts it because he's bad, causing a green haze to spread across Cybertron. With no other option, Cheetor sacrifices himself to combat the evil of Shockwave's spark, and Cybertron is once again restored for good, ushering in a new golden age, just like in the G1 cartoon. Megatron refuses to admit defeat, and Optimus throws him back in the hallway with the scraplets. Shadow Striker tries to retaliate, but she knows that the war is over. And then we get this shot from the trailer. And that's it for this episode, and the end of this 4-part opener. The Battle for Cybertron is over. The Autobots have finally won, and Cybertron is restored. Thanks in great part to Cheetor, Guardian of the Allspark, Savior of Cybertron. Well, let's take a look back and discuss some of the finer details of this episode. When Bludgeon and Vector Sigma are left drifting in unspace forever, at first I thought this was an interesting idea and a way for them to potentially bring them back later in the season. But then I remembered the episode The Crossroads, and as we saw in that episode, nothing can survive in unspace for long, so they're probably as good as gone. Shockwave sacrificing himself under Megatron's orders is weird to me, because I never got the impression that he was that loyal to Megatron, especially after his comments in last season's episode Secret Science. I thought for sure he'd usurp Megatron at some point, not sacrifice himself for him. It's also interesting that Shockwave's spark joining the Allspark corrupted it. I was always under the impression that no matter whether you're an Autobot or Decepticon, you join the Allspark when you die. So are they saying that only good Transformers go to the Allspark? Remember back in the episode Parlay, when Slipstream dies? Cheetor says that she's back with the Allspark now, but she was a Decepticon. Does her last moments of heroism redeem her for a lifetime of being a baddie? I don't know. I don't like the idea that one rotten spark can literally spoil the whole bunch. It just seems like they needed a reason for Cheetor to sacrifice himself. It's also interesting that apparently sparks in this show aren't illustrated as glowing orbs like they have been since Beast Wars. Instead, they look more like the Allspark shards in Animated that gave many new Transformers life. And finally, I was very sad to see Cheetor go. But if you have to go out, I can't think of a better way to do it. Just ask Dinobot. I wonder what's next for Cyberverse. Because honestly, this series could have ended there and it would have been a satisfying ending. Will we explore Cybertron at peace times? Kind of like in the later run of the IDW comics? Autobots and Decepticons living together in an uneasy harmony? Maybe, but obviously we have 22 more episodes to go in this season, and as we know from some of the future episode descriptions, they will face new and greater threats soon enough. So with that, let me know your thoughts on this episode in the comments. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, ring the bell, and all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you back here soon for the next episode, The Loop. See you then.